Hi, I'm Mr. Gustafson. I'm going to be your instructor for this Calculus 1 course. And I just wanted to walk you through some of the general information for the course, how to access some different things. There's going to be more than one video. I'm going to do a follow-up video about how to access the course material, which is going to be housed on a different platform called Newton. And then there's going to be a third video about testing and grading and what that looks like. So generally, some general information, you've already found the D2L site because you're watching this video. And if you look right below this introduction video, you'll see the syllabus. I'm going to walk through a few things on the syllabus. I'm not going to read it word for word. I'll let you do that. But there's a couple of things that I want to point out with that syllabus. So I've got it right here. At the top, I've got my email address listed there. As an adjunct professor, I don't have an office. So I don't have office hours, but I check my email regularly. A couple times a day, I'll check my email and I respond very quickly. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have any issues at all, don't hesitate to email me and ask those questions. I'll get back to you, and I'll speak more to that here in just a minute. The class dates, June 1st through July 24th. So it's a shortened course. You only have 8 weeks instead of the typical 16. It is summer. Couple of things, the required supplies. There isn't a textbook for this class. It's all online and it's going to be housed through a site called Knewton, Knewton. And I'll speak more to the Knewton site and how that works and how that looks in the second video. So you'll need to purchase a subscription to that. You can either do that directly from the Knewton website, or the Riverland bookstores are supposed to have those codes. I'm not sure how that's working with COVID and the quarantine and all that kind of stuff. So that throws a wrench in it, but the Riverland bookstores should have that. So if you need to use financial aid and get access to that financial aid to pay for the subscription, you should be able to do that through the Riverland bookstore. You'll need to have access to the internet. Some browser, Chrome, Explorer, Firefox, Safari, any of those should work for this. It works from a phone, not very well. I mean, it sort of, yeah, kind of works, but it's not the best off of a phone, but it will. So iPad, Chromebook, some access to the internet. You also need to be able to upload material to D2L. So a computer is going to be much easier to work with that, but you can upload things from phones if you absolutely have to. I have a link here if you need to take screenshots of anything on your computer and you don't know how to do that. There's a link here that'll tell you how to do that too. The course description and the major content areas, I'll let you read that through on your own so you can see what we're going to be learning in this course and what topics you're going to be going through. Here are the main course goals for this course. And again, I'll let you read through that at your leisure. You're going to hit those goals whether you read this or not, but just so you know what's coming up. Communication. Again, I mentioned that I respond to emails. That's going to be the fastest way to get a hold of me. You can message me from the Knewton website directly from the question that you're having an issue with. And I'll show you how to do that when I walk you through that particular website. If you do email me, make sure that you are using appropriate grammar and English and all that, and punctuation and everything. But even more important than that, make sure your name is on it so I know who I'm responding to. In the subject line, if you can include the class, that way I know which class I'm responding to right away. And it's also very helpful if you include which problem it is that you're looking at. If you just say, I'm having a hard time with calculus, I don't have much to go on there. So you're going to have to be more specific. The more specific you can be about the issue that you're having, the easier it is for me. And you may not know exactly what the problem is, but if you can find an example in your work and say, okay, I'm having a hard time with this problem, copy and paste it, whatever, that gives me a lot more to go on. I can be more productive in my response to you. I will respond within 24 hours, unless it's a weekend, then it might take a little bit longer. And I'll respond in the most appropriate way that I can think of. That might be just a written response. I might just type it out. Here's what you do. Here's the issue. I might record a video in which case you would see mostly my hand, and it would just be a document camera, and I will work out the problem as I talk you through it. There's a couple ways that I can get that information to you, but I will find a way to help you through those problems. Assignments. You're going to have lots of assignments. I think there's 41 assignments total, and those assignments range in terms of how long it's going to take you. That'll make more sense in the follow-up video. But assignments are going to count for 20% of your grade. You have access to your assignments and those homework assignments. You can do them an unlimited number of times. Again, that'll make more sense when you see it, but you can try the homework assignments as many times as you want until you get 100%. If you stop before 100%, that's the grade I'm going to give you. So if you work on it for 20 minutes and you say, I'm done, whatever, not dumb, but done. If you say I'm done at this point and I'm going to leave it as a 60%, that's the score you're going to get. But you can keep going until you get that 100%, which I highly encourage you do, because the tests are going to be based on those homework problems, which makes sense. So you can keep going on those homework assignments until you get that 100%. If you have questions, again, email me right away. Projects. There are going to be 4 projects that you're going to have to complete, and those have due dates on them. So projects are going to be based on the material that you're working on. Projects are worth 30% of your grade. And I'll touch more on those when we get to the testing and grading video. But projects are 30% of your grade. Those can be submitted either paper and pencil. You can just print it off and write right on the project. If you want to type, so if you want to download it and type on it, you can do that too. If you're going to use a Google Doc, Microsoft Word, I will say it's not easy to type math. Math is very difficult to type, even if you're using an equation editor. So I recommend doing it on paper, but that's up to you. Make sure that I can at least read what you have written. I am a high school teacher and I've taught middle school, so I'm pretty good at reading stuff that students write, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to read everything. Tests. You're going to have 7 different tests, and those are worth 50% of your grade. You'll have a 2-hour block of time for the tests. The assignments you have, again, unlimited time before the due date anyways, unlimited time to get 100%. Projects, you have an unlimited time until the due date to get those done. I'm not timing you on the projects, but the tests, you do have a 2-hour block of time, so make sure you set aside a chunk of time where you can work on that without having to stop and log off or anything, or you won't be able to start it again. Work that you do for those tests. So I'm assuming that you're going to write stuff down for tests because it's really hard to do calculus in your head. You can use a calculator, but you're still going to have to write some stuff down and work some things out. Work that you write down, I do need you to submit on D2L. And again, I'll show you where I want that to look like and how I want that to be in the testing and grading video. But the work that you do will need to be submitted. There's 2 reasons for that. One reason is for some accountability. This is an online class. Nobody's proctoring the test. Nobody's watching over your shoulder. So there needs to be some accountability there. And so I'm going to ask you to, or I need you to submit your work to D2L. The other end of it is this. Computers are very, 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 very picky about how you type something in. If you meant to type a 2 and you accidentally typed a 3, it's still going to count you wrong. If it said round to the tenths and you rounded to the hundredths, it's going to count you 100% wrong. If you submit your work, say it differently, when you submit your work, I'm going to look over those problems. So I'm going to take the time to look over your work, and I'm going to cross-reference that with your test. And if you have done 90% of the problem correct, and you got just marked completely wrong on the test, that test problem, I want to be able to give you some of those points back. So the two reasons I'm having you do this, one is some accountability. The other is I really want to try and give you as many points as I possibly can on those tests, and computers are not good at seeing where you made mistakes. They just counted 100% wrong. So submit your work. If you have questions about that, if you're not sure if you were supposed to do a certain problem, whatever, email me. Late work. There are due dates within the Newton website and on D2L that I'll show you in a separate video. You do need to submit those assignments, those projects, those tests by 11:59 p.m. on the due date listed. Please, please, please don't wait until 11 o'clock p.m. to start your test. Invariably, there will be a technology issue. You will have a problem with your computer, it will shut down, something will happen if you wait until the very last minute. Don't wait till the very last minute. Trust me, there's been lots of students who have done that and it never works out. So don't wait till the very last minute. Get it done a little bit early. That way, if there is a computer issue and you email me and say, my computer just, okay, it's hard to email from a computer that just crashed, but I started my test and my computer crashed. I only got halfway through. Can you reassign the problems that I didn't finish? And the answer is yes, I can, but not after 11:59 p.m. So after 11:59 p.m. on the due date listed, cut off. That's done. That's it. So don't wait till the very last minute. Grading scale is on here. Let you take a look at that. There's lots of information here from the student handbook for Riverland, student code of conduct. Don't cheat. I know that can be very easy to do, but that's where some of that accountability comes in. Accommodations, if you need accommodations. And there is a tutoring program that I'm not positive is going on this summer, especially with COVID. I will maybe have to look into that and email everybody out with some updates. If you do have questions about any of the stuff I just did, email me. It sounds like a broken record, but email me and I will